Dr. Aris Thorne sipped his lukewarm tea. The night shift at the Global Ice Monitoring Center was usually quiet. He watched the screens. Data streamed in from satellites, circling the Earth, watching the poles. Suddenly a red flag appeared. On the main Greenland display, an alert. Thorne sat up straight, his tea forgotten. He leaned towards the monitor. The Jakobshavn Glacier. A massive shift in position. He frowned. This must be an error. A sensor glitch. The diagnostic reported no errors. The Jakobshavn Glacier was not where it should be. It was miles away. Thorne picked up the secure phone. His hand trembled slightly. He dialed Professor Alistair Finch, head of the center. "Professor," Thorne began, his voice hoarse. "You need to see this, Jakobshavn. It's moved." Finch's sleepy, irritated voice. "Moved, Thorne? What are you on about? Moved how much? A few meters?" Thorne took a deep breath. 80 miles, Professor, 80 miles. Overnight. Professor Finch arrived within the hour. His face was a mask of disbelief. He checked the data himself. The glacier had indeed jumped. The data was sound, the images were clear. The story could not be contained. It leaked, first as a rumor, then as a torrent. News agencies scrambled. Headlines screamed the impossible. Greenland glacier leaps 80 miles. Mystery force shakes Arctic. Governments issued terse statements confirming an anomaly, promising investigations. Behind closed doors, emergency meetings were held. This was not just a scientific curiosity. It had geopolitical implications. It had existential implications. The call went out, an international expedition. It had to be. No single nation could or should tackle this alone. The site was remote, hostile. The icebreaker, the Northern Star, ploughed through the frigid waters of the North Atlantic. Its reinforced hull crunched through sea ice. Each impact a reminder of the harsh environment they were entering. On board, the chosen team tried to settle in. The journey would take days, days filled with briefings, with equipment checks, with a growing sense of anticipation, and a touch of trepidation. They were sailing towards the biggest mystery in human history. The ship was a small, warm bubble of life in a vast, cold, and increasingly strange world. The mission's weight pressed down on every soul aboard. Dr. Lena Hansen re-examined the seismic data, or rather the lack of it. No tremors, no shock waves, just the silent relocation of a billion-ton ice river. It defied everything she knew about geology, about the forces that shape planets. Commander Stratton reviewed ice charts and weather forecasts. The helicopter blades thudded against the thin Arctic air. Below, the Greenland ice cap stretched to the horizon, a seemingly endless expanse of white. Then they saw it. The new position of the Jakobshavn Glacier. It was a colossal cliff of ice, 80 miles from where it should have been. It looked like a frozen tsunami, arrested in mid-surge. The scale of it was breathtaking and terrifying. The sheer power that had moved it was palpable, even from miles away. The pilot circled once, allowing the scientists to take it all in, to absorb the impossible reality. They flew on, towards the area the glacier had vacated, the scar. It was a vast raw wound in the landscape. The ground team advanced cautiously, their breath visible in the frigid air. Instruments in hand, they moved with purpose. Geiger counters clicked softly, showing only background radiation, a reassuring sign in the eerie silence. Magnetometers whirred, registering unusual local distortions, but nothing overtly threatening. Dr. Hansen knelt, her eyes scanning the readings. She touched the exposed surface of the object. It was cold, almost unnaturally so, impossibly smooth like polished obsidian reflecting their puzzled faces. But it did not feel like stone or metal, or any material she knew. It was something entirely alien. It seemed to absorb the faint light, giving nothing back, a void in the snowy landscape. There were no seams, no rivets, no indication of how it was constructed. It was as if it had been formed in a single perfect piece. It was as if it had been grown or willed into existence. It was huge, dwarfing the team. Only a fraction was visible above the scoured earth, hinting at its true enormity. A curved segment like the edge of a colossal disc or sphere loomed before them, Extrapolating its size, it had to be hundreds of meters across, perhaps more, buried deep beneath where the glacier had rested for millennia. The sheer scale was mind-boggling. How long had it been there? Silent, waiting, protected by the immense weight of ice. The questions were endless. Had its presence caused the glacier to move? Or had the glacier's removal been a deliberate act to reveal it? The mystery deepened. These questions hung heavy in the frigid air, unspoken, but felt by everyone. The weight of the unknown pressed down on them. They walked around the exposed perimeter, searching for any kind of entrance, hoping to unlock the secrets of this enigmatic artifact. The routine of the base camp had settled. Observation, data collection, endless discussions, theories proposed and discarded. The structure remained inert, a silent monolith. Some on the team began to wonder if it was just that, a dead relic, an ancient monument to a forgotten race. Impressive, but ultimately just an object. Then, on the 8th evening, it happened. Dr. Tanaka was monitoring the energy sensors, as he did every hour. He noticed a flicker, a tiny spike in the readings, so small he almost dismissed it as interference, but it came again, stronger. A faint luminescence appeared on the surface of the structure, not a reflection, but a light from within. It started as a barely perceptible shimmer. Then it grew, a soft, deep blue glow. It spread across the exposed curve, bathing the desolate landscape in its ethereal light. The entire camp fell silent. Everyone stopped what they were doing. They stared, transfixed. The rhythmic pulsing became the new soundtrack to their lives, a constant reminder of the mystery they were trying to unravel, a constant silent beat beneath the Arctic winds. It was mesmerizing, hypnotic, almost like a heartbeat of the earth itself. The deep blue light cast long, dancing shadows across the camp, creating an otherworldly atmosphere that added to the enigma. The scientists worked with renewed fervor, driven by a mix of curiosity and urgency. They had to understand this pulse. Was it a language, a mathematical sequence, or perhaps a signal from another world? Dr. Evelyn Hayes, the team's xenolinguist and mathematician, meticulously recorded the pulses, noting every subtle variation. She analyzed their frequency, their duration, their intensity, hoping to decode their hidden message. She searched for patterns, for meaning, for anything that resembled communication, but the task was daunting. But it was too simple or too complex. They tried to interact, to make sense of the seemingly random pulses. They beamed radio waves at it, hoping for a response, light signals, sound waves. The structure remained indifferent, as if it existed in a realm beyond their reach. Its pulse continued, unchanged, unaffected by their attempts, a constant enigma. It was like trying to talk to a star or a black hole, something vast and incomprehensible. It operated on a scale or in a dimension that was beyond their current reach, beyond their understanding. Some theorized it was a beacon, activated by the removal of the ice, calling out to someone or something, across the vastness of space, a cosmic signal. Others speculated it was a power source, generating unimaginable energy, a relic of an ancient civilization. But for what? And why now? The questions lingered unanswered as the pulse continued its relentless rhythm. Weeks turned into a month, then 2. The days grew shorter and the nights colder. The Arctic summer began its slow fade towards autumn. The vibrant greens gave way to shades of gold and brown. The structure beneath the ice-scarred land continued its rhythmic pulse, unceasing, unchanging. It was as if it was waiting for something. The initial team was rotated out, replaced by fresh faces, fresh minds. Each new team brought renewed hope and curiosity. But the mystery remained as profound as on the first day. Humanity had found something beyond their wildest imaginations, something that defied all known laws of physics. It was a puzzle that seemed impossible to solve, something that spoke in a language of light and energy they could not comprehend. It was as if the structure was alive. The greatest scientific minds on Earth focused their attention on this single point in Greenland. Yet answers remained elusive. The more they studied, the more questions arose. The world watched and waited. Every new discovery was broadcasted, every theory debated. The initial frenzy had subsided, replaced by a deeper, more contemplative awe and a persistent, low-level anxiety. What if they never found the answers? What did this discovery mean for them, for their future? The questions weighed heavily on their minds. Was it a gift, a warning, or something else entirely? Or simply a cosmic artifact indifferent to their existence? Philosophers debated, religions offered interpretations, politicians made cautious statements. Everyone had an opinion, but no one had the truth. But no one truly knew. The structure pulsed. It was a silent enigma, and humanity was left to wonder, to speculate, to hope, and to fear. The journey of discovery had only just begun.